People believe in going to church, for example, and sitting there and listening to a priest and telling the priest their problems. We believe in going straight to what we consider our Orishas and talking to the Orishas about what's going on. And each Orisha represents something different. So, if I'm having an issue, I talk to the one that's appropriate for that issue, and you actually can see something going on, and always in a better direction. People, whatever they're not aware of, whatever they just don't understand, it's just so much easier just to conform with everything that's around you, wherever you are at the time. I think the Jewish religion has gone through, the same kind of dragging, in the mud, so to speak, because they, do certain things too in the same regards as Santeria, and there's a lot of other religions that do that.
A religious dispute is emerging in Euless. This case involves what some might consider an unusual practice, animal sacrifice. Jose Merced,
a Euless flight attendant claims he's also a priest in an ancient African-American religion. Now, News 8 has learned he's filed a federal lawsuit demanding the right to sacrifice animals
at his home, but critics say it's voodoo.
These animals are being brought in for ceremonial sacrifices.
A lot of questions surrounding this controversy.
It's all part of a religion called Santeria.
But neighbors say what he's doing crosses the line, and the city believes it violates a code.
And that's the problem in Euless, Texas. Slaughtering animals in homes there is against the law.
The Orisha, it's the saint, if we're going to go to the Catholicism. And every one of them has their own song, their own dance, specific particular dance and steps in this religion. And how do you learn it? You just learn it by going, by a system, by repeating, and then you ask what they're saying, and then you will know they can translate the words for you. Like for us, water is Omi. There's different candles. Is in Yoruba language is Satana. You just learn it as you go. Kimbaye bayentonu, changoni ola, kimbaye bayentonu chalofon, kimbaye bayentonu chunimbe, kimbaye bayentonu toco la bala gola, la bendición tuya, locha, baba, locha y goro, que está ahí, cutim beleste, lo dumara, piolofi, la bendición de cada uno de ellos, que nos alcanza hasta aquí, hoy, mañana y siempre. Kinka macho dulame, kamacho badorei, kamacho chuntokin, kamacho can. Euless have many opportunities for people. They got different programs. They got recreation and parks. So they got different classes. This here we're entering the City of Euless police and courts, so you can have an idea, what's around the area.
Jose, I told you I was going to Africa. What do you think?
What do I think about you going to Africa? I think it's great, especially if you can get that shot of where the slaves were shipped out. That'd be great.
You just say shipped out.
Shipped? How do you say it? Exported? Here's the Fuller house. It's the first brick home that was built. Nobody can tell if God is white or God is black. Because all that you have there is pictures of what they have told you. Nobody has seen it. Maybe for white people, God is white. Maybe for black people, God is black. Maybe for African people, God is African.
Well, to see animals being killed, that's a hot subject, definitely, because on the female side of things, females, represent reproduction and protection of family, and that includes, sensitivity to life in general. So, you want to look at it in a humanitarian way. But when we sacrifice for the religion purposes, say for someone's health, for example, or, something similar, then you kind of remove yourself from that thought of a feeling for an animal, because now you need someone to get better. You need to have a connection with the Orishas, and something that's just saying, we need your help. We need you to step in here. So it's an offering.
Every time we do sacrifice animals for initiations, we do cook it and prepare, and everybody that comes, priests, and then anybody from the public will eat them. All the time, people are killing animals to survive. There is chickens in the stores, there is cows, there is all kinds of different meats. The only difference is that we do a ceremonial, and we do a sacrifice and offering to the Orishas. And there makes no difference, like the food that you will buy in the store. You cook it, you eat it. The Orishas can eat it, they eat it, we eat it too. I'm a normal person. I hold a normal job. I don't act or do anything different than anybody. I just have different beliefs. For the whole blog, I'm just something wrong. I have to move out of here. I don't belong to this neighborhood, to this society, to these people.
People who believe, they need to believe what they believe in, and I'm all for his religious preference. Like I said, I just don't think it needs to be in a residential neighborhood. It should be at a church, at a synagogue, at a industrial area instead of a neighborhood.
We don't have temples. We don't have churches. We don't have that. You practice at your home. Your home is your temple.
I'm Director of Planning and Development for the City of Euless. My understanding is the initial response from the city was generated as a consequence of the neighbors witnessing either visual signs of the activity and the noise emanating from the particular practice of the slaughter.
There's some restaurants in the area that I do know that sometimes if you go to Red Lobster and you can choose a live lobster and you say, I want that one. And it's alive, it's there, and it's in a restaurant, and they have to kill it. You're not gonna eat it alive. And they serve it. So it was kind of odd. There got to be some premise or something here. And I waited about 2 weeks, I think, and I went again to the city. And I got the same response. They said, absolutely not.
Well, if you strictly were to view the date in which these ordinances that are applicable were adopted, you would look back to 1974, when Euless was a community considerably less population than the 50,000 today.
The animal sacrifice in our religion is mainly done to get the energy from the blood on the Orisha. If you're feeding this Orisha with X animal, if it's good for them, it's good for you. That's why it's the process of you eating the meat after. It's an offering that you do, and the energy that contains within the blood is what it makes that Orisha speak, and give you advices. Without that, you cannot initiate a new priest. It has to be done.
There is a provision in the ordinance that would allow for the slaughtering of fowl as table fare, and if that's what they were doing, that would be one issue. The slaughtering of goats would be another matter entirely.
They do have a problem with goats. And unfortunately, without the goat, we cannot initiate a new priest. If I was such a bad guy, I would not be having birds. I got 3 dogs, I got a fish tank, I got some birdies, I got some cockatiels and some parakeets, which we don't use in our religion. I just have them here. Because coming from an island, I just like the tropical and the sound of the birds. And some of them sing sometimes. I mean, not words, but they whistle different tunes. Well, they're pretty good. I'm just following what they're telling me to do. And everywhere I turn, I'm just clashing on a wall. I'm just clashing on a wall. So finally, what is going to rule? Well, I guess the court will rule.
Well, I really thought that this case would be settled with a telephone call because it seems so ridiculous to me that the city would give these people trouble for doing something in their own home where nobody else could see it or was in any way involved in it. But for some reason, the city has decided to dig in its heels and fight to the bitter end, I guess. So that's what we're prepared to do, too.
The hearing was in March 10 of 2008. Everything was going very well in the morning, and we recessed for lunch, and we came back. He ruled in favor of the city. And I think he based his ruling on, he was trying to base it on health. There is no statistics, there is no records of anybody being sick or getting sick or going to the hospital or administering some medicine, or there is nothing about contamination. You know, I was very, very disappointed that day when I walked out. And the problem with that was that one that was done, and you're kind of lost again. You're down to start. What will I go from here? What do I do?
It is a sad day for the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States.
There is supposed to be a separation between church and state. And there's supposed to be religious freedom in the United States.
I'm an attorney. I represented the City of Euless in this case. Remember, other religions have adjusted their practices in this country historically from day one to comply with the civil laws. Animal and human sacrifice in even the Jewish religion is accommodated in other ways. They don't do it in the city.
No, we don't kill dogs, we don't kill cats, we don't kill children. And people, we do not drink blood. Because that's a major thing, and everybody's asking me the same thing. I guess they go back to Rosemary's Baby's kid and that movie that came out where they sacrificed this kid. It's not like that. There's different things out there, and they're trying to combine them all together.
I expect it has to do with ignorance and narrow-mindedness, yeah. Oh,